The story begins a few months ago when I 29 meters invited my ex-girlfriend 25F and her toddler to move into my home. The decision was fast, driven by a desire to help her escape a dangerous living situation, and I had the means to offer that immediate relief. After only a month, the shine began to fade as I noticed behaviors that worried me. While I had no kids and wasn't sure if I had a right to judge her parenting, I couldn't ignore my concerns. I started noticing a pattern where she'd constantly step away from her children to call me at work. The issue wasn't the calls, but the inattention to her toddler, often losing track of the child while focused on the phone. This was corroborated by my mother and a neighbor, who both witnessed her prioritizing phone calls over supervision. My living arrangement was already complicated since my mother lived with me, and the two women did not get along at all. Tensions quickly boiled over into a major argument one night. The conflict was so severe that I felt forced to ask my mother to move up her departure date to go care for my grandmother in the hospital, just to restore some peace. Financial and employment issues soon followed. She lost her first job about 2 months after moving in, which wasn't a huge problem since I was paying all the bills anyway. However, within 2 months of securing a second job, she lost it again. This time due to taking time off for her sick child and a string of doctor visits. She claimed she had no help, but for another month or so, she was out of work until she finally started a flexible, self-employed business. By this point, our relationship was a steady stream of arguments, and I had asked her to leave multiple times. After about 2 more months, the situation hit a devastating peak. During a fight, she went ballistic, throwing a plate across the kitchen and making vague threats against both me and my mother, specifically mentioning going after her medical license and getting my business shut down. The police were called, and it was the final, definitive ending. Legal proceedings were initiated due to the nature of her actions, and she finally moved out. I acknowledge that I'm not entirely innocent in the way things played out. My multiple TBS severely impacted my memory, leading to missed reminders and forgotten discussions, especially when fights became a constant worry, causing me to shut down. I even had texts from my neighbors stating my ex would constantly ask if random people were at the house on my days off, which contradicted my preference for privacy and quiet. Despite the threats, the fighting, and the ultimate necessity of the eviction, I still felt a sense of guilt. I paid for her moving expenses and 2 months of rent elsewhere. Even after everything, I felt it was the least I could do, as if some part of this disastrous situation was still my fault.